Today we are at Beech Creek, at the Beech Creek and Marsh Creek Heritage Museum. We're going to go inside and speak with the director and see what the museum's all about.
Hi, my name is Lynn Bitner. I am part of the Beech Creek, Marsh Creek Watershed Heritage Museum. The museum was started back in the year 2000. Open for business, that is. In 1999, we got together and we wrote up bylaws and rules. And 2000, we opened officially for business. So now we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. I think this museum is very important to this community. It's one of the last things we have as a community where everybody can be involved. We've lost 3/4 of our churches and other things, and people need to rally around this history that's here. If you were somebody that had never been here before and are seeing this video, I think you would be pleasantly surprised. We have a ton of wealth and knowledge, papers and artifacts, everything from the Beech Creek truck in 1916 to baseball uniforms from all the teams in the surrounding area. And there's a lot more than that. So I hope you stop in sometime, especially on September 21st when we have our anniversary. This section is devoted to local schools, which is Blanchard School, Beech Creek School, Liberty Curtin School, and the other schools of the area, the little one-room schoolhouses that were in the countryside, many of them in the area. We have a lot of diplomas because at this one time, Beech Creek School was a 10-grade school, and at the end of 10 grades, you got a diploma. And if you wanted to further your education, you had to travel to Lock Haven, which had a 12-grade high school. But before this building in 1904, the students only went 8 grades. So it's progression, and I hope that it goes on. This area we have dedicated to the sports in the area, as sports has always been a very big part of the children in this part of the world. There was always a lot of baseball that was played. Now we have dance. We had Cub Scouts here at one time. And in a town not far away, there was soapbox derby racing. And we have a car from there that was given to us by a gentleman from Beech Creek. We also have 2 baseball fields now for Little League with lights, which was never anything we had before. And Beech Creek has become a pretty big part of the baseball Little League community. We even have Marsh Creek jersey or uniform, which I would thought would have been very hard to find. The only one we don't have is Monument, and I wish we did. We have ice skates for when kids were little. They used to ice skate on ponds and even up at the lake in Blanchard, and sled for sled riding. Kids would sled ride down the hills around town. Our community always had things for the kids to do. That's inter-community. That was an all-star team. That would have been an all-star team from, probably half a dozen teams around the area, and then they would play other teams, bigger schools or bigger towns or something. Well, there was a lot of boys from Beech Creek and the surrounding Beech Creek area that played on that team, and they played all of their playoff games up in the field in Beech Creek before they got to where they had to start to travel. Joe Bechtel, a very good friend of the museum, put those books together, and they're very nice to have. There's a lot of people that like to just sit and look at them. This area of our museum is reserved for industry in the area, which involved a brickyard, a truck factory, coal companies, and a train. The Beech Creek Railroad was a short line that ran from Jersey Shore to Clearfield. It hauled passengers and freight throughout our area. And for a long time, it was how the people in Monument and Ormiston got their supplies at the brickyards. We had a grist mill, which turned all the farmers' wheat into flour, and we had a brickyard that made several different kinds of bricks, mostly fire brick, used in boilers and things. But each town in the area had a brickyard, and you can find all different kinds of bricks throughout central Pennsylvania. That's Hayes Run.
Okay.
Hayes Run was out near the town of Scutac, Peacock, Revelton. I don't know exactly what that is. I don't know where it came from. General Refractories, who was the owner of the brickyard at one time, after the Winds or before the Winds, I'm not sure how it worked, but Winds owned it, and that's where you get your Wind bricks. General Refractories bought it. That's where you got your Beech Creek brick. This is a picture of inside the Beech Creek brickyard. They're drying. The bricks are drying, cooling. They were probably, I don't know, maybe, I don't. It's probably either right before or after the firing. The Beech Creek truck was an idea brought to Beech Creek by a gentleman from the northern part of the state. I believe it was either Mansfield or Wellsboro. But he had this idea, and he was looking for backers, and he stumbled into Beech Creek one day, and there was enough people that said yes that he stuck around. And they got things up and going. They actually made a couple. And when the third one was in process, why, they ran out of money and shut down the business. It was located in a big building down where the Likens parking lot is now, where the gas stations are now. In 1916, sold for $3,800. So that was a fair piece of money in 1916. This is a tag that was put on the side of each truck, and it would have had the model number, the capacity, and the weight, and the number of truck. And I'm not sure how we ended up with them. This one was on the truck, and I don't remember where this one came from, but we did have that made into a license plate at one point and sold them, and they sold very well. Well, the gentleman did get a patent on his drive mechanism, the mechanism that went to the rear wheel, from the motor to the rear wheels. Because back in that time, almost everything at that time was being driven, all the wheels were being driven by chain, like on a bicycle. And this gentleman came up with a better idea, which was probably the start of the axles and everything for the big car manufacturers. This is a cab, would have been a cab on one of the trucks. And it's covered in a cloth. And there's a little rest back here. And in this rest, it's stuffed with horsehair. There's a picture of the truck with what would have looked like with this cab on it. Please join us on September 21st at noon till 4 p.m. for our open house and 25th anniversary celebration. We hope you all can attend and share in the history of Beech Creek and the surrounding areas.